I mean, a child who was 10 years old had known nothing but war when he was 24 years old. So he then joined the Taliban, and they were all of them were trained in fighting. What they needed help was in statecraft. Where Pakistan went wrong, they should have helped them, and they should have actually helped all of them to sit on a table, all groups, and form this sort of, consensus government. So unfortunately, these religious bigots went there, and they then made this into an extreme movement where,
Very extreme,
if you didn't have a beard, you were beaten up and all that sort of nonsense. And in the end,
up statues and
in the end,
television sets.
Yeah. And in the end, what happened was that this movement just, had no ability to govern, but actually they gave rule of law in Afghanistan. But they didn't understand the art of statecraft.
Now, you mentioned warlordism, and that brings me on to one of the main reasons for your visit to Britain. I'm leaving this studio to go to Parliament to make a speech this evening on the restoration of democracy in Pakistan. It's a debate which I have secured, and I lead it off, and it will be answered by our British Foreign Office Minister. One of the things I'm going to say, and you've been good enough to brief me on it, although I was, of course, aware of its importance, is the presence in Britain of a man who is effectively a warlord. He's effectively a godfather. He's effectively running a criminal enterprise which is in power with General Musharraf in Karachi, in Sindh. And he is, of course, Mr. Altaf Hussain, the head of the so-called Mahajar movement, the MQM. For the benefit of our viewers, just put in a nutshell who this man is, what his movement is, and the kind of things that he's doing.
Well, the MQM started in 1984. It was a movement which started to, and with a great deal of justification, the feeling of deprivation felt by the Mahajar. Mahajar means people who immigrated from India, the Urdu-speaking people in Karachi, who felt that they were being deprived of their fundamental rights. One of them being that they were the most educated. The Mahajar youth was the most educated per capita. They were very dynamic, as immigrants always are. And here these people, there was a quota system where they could not, even though they were qualified, they could not get jobs because it was based on some ethnic quota, okay? So these genuine grievances of these allowed them to join the MQM, which was formed in 1984 under Altaf Hussain. It was a genuine people, it represented the Mahajar ethnic group in Karachi. And it had mass support. Unfortunately, it degenerated over a period of time and has now become a fascist party, exactly based on the Nazi party lines, headed by Altaf Hussain, who since '92 has been living in Britain. He came in on political asylum. In '99, he was given British citizenship.
British citizen, yes.
And he is saying now, this is the problem what we are facing. Never in history has there been a leader of a party. The party is in power in Pakistan. He's living here and controlling the party from here. The reason he's not going back is because he's scared that he will be assassinated. Why is he scared? Because he has had so many people killed in Karachi that there are so many enemies that he's not safe there anymore. But what he's doing, unfortunately, is in order to sit in London for 15 years and control a party that is in Karachi, there's only one way he can do it, and that is to have a complete fascist organization. And now, what I'm telling you is on the website of UNHCR, it's Amnesty International, it is the US State Department. They have all recorded the sort of violence MQM uses to achieve its objectives. When you use violence to achieve your objectives, you're called a terrorist. It is a terrorist organization. And the reason I came here was that on May 12th, in order to support General Musharraf, in Karachi, we saw an example of state terrorism, where the police, they control the government in Karachi, they control the police, the Interior Ministry is there, the governor is there. So what they did was that they, in order, the Chief Justice was coming to Pakistan. This movement, I told you, we are all supporting the Chief Justice. So we were all going to welcome the Chief Justice. In order to make this welcome fail, because if it succeeded, then the MQM and Musharraf would have been weakened, because MQM is supporting Musharraf. MQM terrorists fired into peaceful rallies. which were going to receive the Chief Justice. 48 people died that day, were shot. Almost 200 received bullet wounds. Out of that, 10 were my own party members. When my party members were wounded, that's when I decided that I would come to Britain, because this is the only way we would get justice and take them to court.
We're going to come back to exactly how we're going to get that justice in just a second. This is George Gallaway. I'm speaking to the hero Imran Khan. This is